Friends, today is my one of the most memorable day because I have an opportunity to take video classes with the help of my team and the professors. So you have probably come across the acronym AES more than once. Maybe you have wondered what is AES, what makes it so special. In this video I will tell all about all you need to know about AES. In this advanced technical world, my name is Sampath. My team members also welcome. Thank you. Let's go to the topic now. So next slide. Contents. These are the contents today we are going to explain. Next slide. Introduction. AES. What is AES? Among the various topics, why I particularly choose this topic? Let's see. AES is refers to the advanced advanced encrypted standard algorithm. In this algorithm, is it safer to use or not? It is find the futures SP to use, but it's a kind of futures. How does it work? How does the encryption work? There's a lot of question out there. Let's see the other contents now. So next slide. What is AES? AES is nothing but cryptographic algorithm. It's also protect the data. It's also secure the data. But AES is nothing but cryptographic algorithm. Cryptographic algorithm is nothing but it used for the such type of important data types. Sorry, not the data types. It's about types such as data encryption, authentication, and data digital signatures. Even one problem I said, because there is a keys to solve to enable these algorithms. That is also called as cryptographic algorithms. There is a lot of examples that is now available. No need to say that. Then other categories: symmetric block chipper. Symmetric block chipper that enables the encrypt and decrypt data. The encryption can convert the data to its unintelligible form is called ciphertext. Then the decryption it converts to the data back to this original form is called as plain text. Then other features, there is a three key values such as 120 bits, 192 bits, 256 bits of encryption. That's a blah blah blah. Okay, next slide. Next slide means next point. It provides such as excellent long term security. That's a security against brute force attacks. Brute force attacks, it attacks the crack the password. It's also mainly if it means it's a crack the password. Next slide I miss it. Say next slide please. Where does the AES encryption used? AES encryption used, it is mainly used in the software, hardware, or communication. That's many of the used. So okay, majorly configuration is used in the Wi-Fi technology. Wi-Fi technology is the encrypt and decrypt. That's the two main thing. Encryption is nothing but already said data. The simple example of Wi-Fi password typing means it's a dot. Samsung means a Samsung dot is a typed characters be like. Okay, the again said WPA to PSK. The term PSK refers to pre-shared key. Okay, WPA refers to Wi-Fi protect access to. WPA2 in the advanced technology most secure concept is WPA2, but widely in India is used in WPA. Wi-Fi protect access only, not a WPA2 access. That's a more secure, but just secure only, not encrypt concept, decrypt concept. It's a simple example like it. The programming language, it's Java, Python, Crypto++. It's also created in the encryption be like AES encryption be like. Okay, next slide please. How does the AES work? AES uses a round of encryption. It carries out the cipher transformation. Cipher transformation is nothing but which is applied to plain text to get ciphertext. That's a main reason. Second, every round consists of the multiple times running, multiple times of running, create a function. Then the third point is the encryption of the 128 bits. It's separately called as 192, 12, and the 256 of 14. It's etc. Be like. Next point, next slide. AES encryption steps. There is mainly 6 points are available. Derive, initialize, add. Okay. 6 points are very interesting, but it is easily to understand you. So I will just read and say. That's all. Derive the set of round keys from the cipher key. Initialize the second point. Initialize the state array with the block data bracket in bracket plain text in above bracket ciphertext. The plain text ciphertext I am already said. Ciphertext plain text. Ciphertext it's converted the data to the encryption. Plain text is converted data to the decryption. So among the plain text and ciphertext, cipher transformation is converted into the applied to get plain text into the ciphertext. So initialize the state array with the block data plain text. To last point, copy the final state of the array out of the encrypted data type. It's the main example for two types, plain text and ciphertext. Okay. Next slide, please. Encryption process. This is the encryption process. I have some simple diagrams say cipher key plain text. There's the converted into 128 bits KO. Again to the add round key. It's converted as 4 sub process. Shift rows, sub bytes, miss columns, add round key. That's converted to 128 bytes. This happened to the AES encryption process. Again to the next slide, please. Next slide. Types of layers. There are 4 types of layers: sub bytes, shift rows, mix columns, add round key. There are 4 types of layers mainly used for next slide. Next slide. Sub bytes. There are the 16 input bytes are used in Xbox. Xbox 8 bits are one side, 8 bits are one side. There are 2 by 8 bits are totally 16 bytes. There's a rows and columns. Rows contains 4 bytes and the column bytes is 4 columns. That's a 4 plus 8, 8 plus 8, 16 rows. Next slide, please. Shift rows. The shift rows contains 2 combination of the left and right positions. The left and right positions. Left right combination of first row is not shifted. First row is not shifted. Second row is shifted in the 1 byte position of the left. Third row is positioned 2 byte position of the left. Fourth row is positioned the third byte position of the left. But the result of the right position is among the various of the 3 position of the rows is combined into the right side position also. That's a diagram example also. So let you will be understand. Okay, next slide, please. That's a mixed column. Mixed column is nothing but to produce a new column into the old column. The old column is contains the processing of involves a matrix multiplication. That's a good example in the mixed column. That's a simple diagram I said. That's all. Okay, next slide, please. R down key. R key is a main important one because it's a attacker. Impossible for an attacker to calculate the cipher transformation. That's a main point. It's a brutal force attack. I already said brutal force attack. It's a combination of the one add round key. That's a simple diagram one. This will become encrypt and decrypt. That's a concept of encryption and decryption that combines the to become symmetric mode. Okay, that's all. Add round key. Next slide, please. Next slide. Example. So example. This is the example. Simple example. What I said. What's in your name? That which call a rose by the other words would smell as sweet. That contains the 256-bit encryption. That's a good example because 256 encryption it converted into byte code, dot letter. Simple note that there's a dot letter I said. Okay, that's all. Then next slide. Is it AES safe? Yes, it was safe because it is not possible to brute force attack AES 256-bit encryption. In the 256-bit encryption, it's not safe means it's a safe because in other countries be like it's a 256-bit encryption are used, but in India be like 128 encryption are used. But in India it's a 120-bit lower encryption is used, but it's less than a yard away from a target device. That's a target device is the less than usually in India, so it can be very helpful for India 128 bits. So 120 bits also stronger, 256 also stronger. That's a 2 stronger device. Okay, that's all. This is a majorly simple example. AES is safer to work. Next slide, please. Conclusion. AES is the most widely used file encryption. Okay, I simply said all over world, all are using the mobile phone, including all the brands also. Okay, not only the brands, including safer mainly, including Apple, Samsung, everything. But encryption, decryption, that both are very very important. The encryption, it's byte code. Decryption is gonna create cipher code. That's our two main thing, because Wi-Fi, already Wi-Fi, mobile data access all over, Denny, allo, all of using allo. But allo is refers to the is advantage to the brutal force attack. That's a brutal force attacks is the main dangerous one. That's a main good example. But it's a very safer one. Another side, that's a good future in 2025, 2030, near the future also. So be ready to the friends. You have to think outside, going more think. So for the future, you will make the credit to the other students. Thank you.